particularly tough for the country on the economic front, with inflation soaring to 30% and resources like fuel running low. Gang violence has also skyrocketed, so much so that some streets have become battlefields between police and criminal groups. As Haitians grapple with all of this turmoil, protesters have been calling on the Prime Minister to resign, saying that he has failed to stop the unrest. On top of all of that scrutiny, the Prime Minister himself has faced accusations that he was involved in one of the country's most shocking crimes, the assassination of President Jovenel Moise just last year. Mr. Henry denies the allegation and has pledged to bring justice for the president and the country. But so far, many say that that has not happened. Time now for the exchange, where we discuss how the country can try to turn things around. Joining me live now is former Haitian Prime Minister Laurent Lamothe. Laurent, thank you so much for being with us. So it is very clear that things in Haiti right now are out of control. There's so much that the country is dealing with and ordinary Haitians are suffering. What does the Prime Minister need to do to solve the multiple crises that the country is facing?
Well, the country is facing a catastrophic security situation. We're almost at a quasi-civil war state right now. An incredible financial situation. The currency has lost over 50% of its value in the past year alone. And the socioeconomic situation. And on top of that, the unsolved murder of the country's president last year. And so far, nothing has happened. There is nobody that has been brought to justice in the mastermind of this horrendous assassination. So the Prime Minister was put in by the president for a period of, to organize. I would say he had 4 months to organize elections and to put back security, but that hasn't happened either.
Obviously, people are protesting. They want the Prime Minister gone. Do you think that the situation Haiti can sort of be solved by a change in leadership? I mean, a lot of these issues are so systemic that they could take years to turn around. And if you were still Prime Minister, you were Prime Minister 10 years ago, but if you still had that job today, what would you be doing differently?
Well, you have to understand that the mandate of the Prime Minister is a provisional government that's there right now. It's a caretaker government, basically. So the mandate that he had is very clear, and it's concise to solving the security situation. So putting more resources in the hands of police, putting more equipment, reinforcing the armed forces to allow them to fight some of the gangs, the 8 warlords, if you want, that are ruling the streets of Port-au-Prince, and putting them out of order, and then paving the way for organization of elections. And that's basically what he needs to do in order to give the seat to an democratically elected by the people, for Haiti to be back in the democracy and the democratic family again, because right now we're not.
You know, just in terms of them, I mean, we're looking at just incredible footage that one of our correspondents, Nick Payton-Walsh, who traveled to Port-au-Prince and actually was embedded with the police there. We're seeing incredible footage of, I'm not sure if you can actually see the screens, but of what it is like on the streets there in Port-au-Prince, just in terms of the fighting between the gangs and the police, who are oftentimes outgunned, outnumbered as well. One of the other issues is corruption. How much of the country's resources that it could use, by the way, to tackle this issue, is siphoned off by corruption?
Well, I mean, corruption has been an issue in Haiti, for a while, and it's been an issue in many emerging and developing countries. But the biggest, I would say, pressing issue right now is that the economy is in a free fall. There is very few. I mean, the gas stockpiles are running empty. The situation is that the currency has lost half of its value in over just 1 year, and there is a general lack of confidence, and people are not investing in the economy. There is a massive job loss, so it's creating a humanitarian crisis, and you start feeling it, already, by seeing, people leaving Haiti, to the coast of the Bahamas, to the coast of the U.S. And it's the situation is exasperating.
So what are the chances that the Prime Minister will end up being forced out here?
Well, there is a lot of pressure for the Prime Minister to resign, and there is a lot of pressure for him to just do what he was meant to do, which is, putting the Electoral Council in place, which he hasn't done, to organize elections and give people the feeling that the country is going towards a vote. People are saying that there is a lot of insecurity, so the vote cannot happen. But then again, there has been countries with wars that have had elections. So that's certainly not an excuse for not to hold the vote. And it's already been over 14 months already. And I think the people are feeling exasperated and impatient, to see the vote happen. But I don't think a change of government today would change anything. It would just make the transition longer and would just delay the people's going to the vote and elect their own, choose their own leader freely.
And in the meantime, as we debate elections, it's the people that continue to suffer. Laurent Lamothe, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to our top story in Iraq, where a powerful Iraqi Shia cleric's announcement that he's pulling out of politics.